4. When the Sabbaths heard that we were rebuilding the wall, he became angry and greatly incensed. He ridiculed the Jews, and in the presence of his associates and the army of Samaria, he said, "What are those fables Jews doing? Will they restore their walls? Will they offer sacrifices? Will they finish in a day? Can they bring the stones back to back to life from those heaps of rubbish, burned as they are?" Tobiah the Amortist, who was at his side, said, "What they are building, if even a fox climbed up on it, he would break down their walls to stones. Hear us, O our God, for we are despised. Turn their insults back on their own heads. Give them over a plunder in a land of captivity. Do not cover up their guilt or blot out their sins from your sight. For they have drawn insult in the face of the builders. So we rebuilt the walls till all of the reached half its height. For the people worked with all their heart. But when assembled, Tobiah the Arabs and the Amortists and the men of Ashud heard that the repairs of Jerusalem's walls had gone ahead, and then the gaps were being closed. They were very angry. They all plotted together to come and fight against Jerusalem and stir up trouble against it. But we prayed to our God and posted a guard day and night to meet his threat. Meanwhile, the people in Judah said, "The strength of the laborers is giving out, and there is so much rubber that we cannot rebuild the walls." Also, our enemies said, "Before they know it or see us, we will be right there among them, and will kill them and put an end to the work." Then the Jews who lived near them came and told us 10 times over, "Wherever you will then turn, they will attack us." Therefore I stationed some of the people behind the lowest points of the wall at the exposed places, posting them by families with their swords, spears, and bows. After I looked things over, I stood up and said to the nobles, the officers, and the rest of the people, "Don't be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight for your brothers, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your homes." When our enemies heard that we were aware of their plot and that God had prostrated, we all returned to the wall, each of his own work. From that day on, half of the men did the work, while the other half were equally with spears, shields, and bows and armors. The officers posted themselves behind all the people of Judah who were building the wall. Those who carried the materials did their work, and with one hand and held a weapon in the other. And each of the builders wore his sword at his side as he worked. But the man who sounded the trumpet stayed with me. Then I said to the nobles, the officers, and the rest of the people, "The work is insensitive and spread out, and we are widely separated from each other along the wall. Wherever you hear the sound of the trumpet, join us there. Our God will fight for us." So we continued the work with half the men holding spears, from the first light of dawn until the stars came out. At that time I also said to the people, "Have every man and his helpers stay inside Jerusalem at night, so they can serve us as guards by the night and workmen by day. Neither I nor my brother, nor my men, nor the guards took off their clothes. Each had his weapons, even when he went for water." 5. Now the men and their wives raised a greatly outcry against their Jewish brothers. Some were saying, "We and our sons and daughters are numerous in order to us to eat and stay alive, but we must get grain." Others were saying, "We are more taking our fields, our vineyards, and our homes to get grain during the famine." Still others were saying, "We have had to borrow money to pay the king's tax on our fields and vineyards, although we are the same flesh and blood as our countrymen, and though our sons are good at theirs. Yet we have subject our sons and daughters to slavery. Some of our daughters have already been enslaved, but we are powerless, because our fields and our vineyards belong to others." When I heard that outcry and these charges, I was very angry. I pointed them in my mind, and they accused the nobles of officers. I told them, "You are exceeding unsurely from your own countrymen." So I called together a large meeting to deal with them and said, "As far as possible, we have brought back our Jewish brothers who were sold to the Gentiles. Now you are selling your brothers only for them to be sold back to us." They kept quiet because they they could find nothing to say. So I continued, "What you are doing is not right. Shouldn't you walk in the fear of our God to avoid the reproach of our genetics enemies? I and my brothers and my men are also lending the people money and grain, but let the exciting of insurance stop. Give back to them immediately their fields, vineyards, olive grove, and houses, and also the unsurely you have charging them the 100th part of the money, grain, and new wine, and oil. We will give it back," they said, "and we will not demand anything more from them. We will do as you say." Then I summoned the priests and made the nobles of the officers take an oath to do what they had promised. I also shook out the folds of my robe and said, "In this way, may God shake out of his house and positions every man who does not keep their promises. So may such a man be shaken out of empty." And at this time whole assembly said, "Amen," and praised the Lord. And the people did as he was promised. Moreover, from the 20th year of King Archelaus, when I was appointed to their governor in the land of Judah, until his 32nd year, 12 years, neither I nor my brother ate the food allotted to the governor. But the early governors, those preceding me, placed a heavy burden on the people and took 40 shekels of silver from them in addition to food and wine. Their assistants also ordered it over to the people, but out of the service regard I did not act like that. Instead, I devoted myself to the work on this wall. All my men were assembled there for the work. We did not acquire any land. Furthermore, 150 Jews and officers ate at my table, as well as those who came to us from the surrounding nations. Each day an ox, 6 choice sheep, and some poultry were prepared for me, and every 10 days an abundant supply of wine of all kinds. In spite of all this, I never demanded for the food allotted by the governor, because the demands were heavy on these people. Remember me with favor, O my God, for all I have done for these people. 6. When word came to Sabbath, Tobiah against of Arab and the rest of the enemies that I had rebuilt the walls and not a gap was left in it. Due of that time I had not set the doors in the gate. Sabbath and Gershom sent me this message: "Come, let us meet together in the one village on the plain of Onan." But they were scattering to harm me, so I sent messengers to them with this reply: "I am carrying on a great project and cannot go down. Why should the work stop where I live and then go down to you?" 4 times they sent me the same message, and each time I gave them the same answer. Then the 5th day, Sabbath sent his aide to me with the same message, and in his hand was an unsurely letter in which was written, "It is reported among the nations, and Gershom said it is true, that you and the Jews are plotting to rebuild, and therefore you are building the wall. Moreover, according to this report, you are about to become their king and have been appointed prophet to make this proclamation about you in Jerusalem. There is a king in Judah. Now this report will get back to the king, so come, let us confirm together." I sent this to reply: "Nothing like what you are saying is happening. You're just making it up out of your head." They were all trying to frighten us, thinking their hands will get too weak for the work, and it will not be completed. But I prayed, "Now strengthen my hands." One day I went to the house of Shemiah son of Belial, the son of Mattiah, who was shut in his home. He said, "Let us meet in the house of God inside the temple, and let us close the temple door, because the men are coming to kill you. By night they are coming to kill you." But I said, "Should a man like me run away? Or should one like me to go on the temple to save his life? I will not go." I realized that God had not sent him, but that he had prophesied against me, because Tobiah the Sabbath had hired them. He had been hired to intimidate me so that I would commit a sin by doing this, and then they would give me a bad name to distract me. Remember Tobiah and Sabbath, oh my God, because of what I have done. Remember all the prophets, Nodia and the rest of the prophets who have been trying to humiliate me. So the walls were completed on the 25th of Elul, the 52th day. When all our enemies heard about this, all the surrounding nations were afraid and lost their self-confidence, because they realized that this work had been done with the help of our God. Also, in those days, the noble of Judah were sending many letters to Tobiah, and replies for Tobiah kept coming to them. For many in Judah were under oath of him, since he was the son-in-law of Shemaiah son of Ara, and his son Jermain had married the daughter of Melissa son of Berka. Moreover, they kept reporting to me his good deeds, and then telling him what I said, and Tobiah sent letters to immediate me.